Hello everyone, a very warm good morning to everyone. Welcome to Vijay Mohan IAS Academy, and this is Vijay Mohan. Hope everyone is doing well and everyone's preparation is also going well. And as exams are coming and you will be having preliminary examination on October 16, so it is high time that you put in your efforts in a continuous and sustained manner. And apart from that, you should have a perspective on mains also. So you try to prepare simultaneously for preliminary examination as well as mains examination, right? And as you know that we are in the module of Tspsc Group 1 Mains Paper 4 video course and test series exclusively intended for English medium. And as part of this video course, we already completed Indian economy first chapter, and I already gave test one of the first chapter, and many of the students wrote answers and I already evaluated them, and still many of the students have to write the answers. So I request them to complete their answer writing of the test one and submit it so that I can evaluate it, right, as early as possible. Why? Because we are nearing the completion of the chapter 1 of Telangana economy. So I'll be giving you the next test on the chapter 1 of the Telangana economy. So before that, I want to make sure that all of you complete your test 1, right? So as you know that as part of this video course, we are in the first chapter of Telangana economy, and we already completed some of the issues related to first chapter. As we will see that we already completed Telangana economy in Hyderabad state, and we already completed Telangana economy in United AP, that is 1956 to 2014, right? Sorry. And in the previous video, specifically, I completed about the deprivation and underdevelopment as far as employment opportunities are concerned, and also I already completed issues related to Telangana surpluses, and we saw some of the previous questions related to these issues, and we have also seen some of the practice questions, right? So in this video particularly, I'll be dealing with structure and growth of Telangana economy, sectoral trends in GSDP, and per capita income related issues, right? So if you see the previous year questions of paper 4, if you take APPSC Group 1 paper 4 questions are Tspsc Group 1 paper 4 question that is held in 2016, you can observe that there are different kinds of questions on structure and growth of an economy, especially AP or Telangana, right? And majorly those questions are focused on or were focused on sectoral trends in GSDP, that is contribution of different sectors to the total GSDP. What is the contribution of agriculture sector? What is the share of agriculture sector? What is the share of industrial sector? But they have not asked in a staggered manner. I mean to say, they have not asked about the particular sector, right? And they have asked for a period of nearly 5 to 6 years. We will see the previous years as we go forward. But however, there is only one question about the agriculture sector, particularly related to Andhra Pradesh economy. So as far as your examination point of view is concerned, this chapter, that is structure and growth of Telangana economy, is going to be very important, right? And especially the sectoral trends in GSDP, in total GSDP, is going to be of prime importance. Now they have given specifically per capita income in the syllabus. I think this one is also going to be important for this time exam, this year's exam, or you can say this notification, because there is a specific mention of per capita income. And if you observe the Telangana economy, the growth of per capita income in the Telangana economy after its formation, there is a considerable improvement in the per capita income. And even if you compare with the all India per capita income, the growth rate of the per capita income of Telangana is more when compared to the all India level. We will see that while we move forward. So on the whole, this chapter is also very important, and there is a possibility there might be a question from this chapter, right? Now we'll move forward without any delay. So what are the probable areas of questions being framed from this chapter? If you observe the previous year questions, then you will get some idea. The first and foremost probable question that there is a possibility of asking in the exam is structural composition of Telangana economy in terms of GVA. It is already asked in 2016, right? What is the structural composition of Telangana economy in terms of GVA? From, I think you have to observe this from, or you have to observe for previous 5 or 6 years, especially after the formation of Telangana state, right? Then trends in growth rates of Telangana economy in last 5 years. See, basically this structure and growth of Telangana economy, this kind of chapters and sectoral trends in GSTP and per capita income, you have to observe the trends. They are not asking about a particular 1 year. What is the contribution of agriculture or industry sector in 2019-20? So they are more concerned about trends. And as far as Group 1 examination is concerned, that the aspirants, the examiner or examination expects that aspirants should have a minimum knowledge of what is the trend of economy. Without knowing that trend, how can you become a Group 1 officer? You should know, or you should be able to understand what is the structural transformation that is happening in the economy, especially regional economy, as you are going to serve in your own state. So that is the reason why there is a more focus on the trends of per capita income, the trends of structural contribution, right? Even I suggest the aspirants to make data or stats related to these trends on a sheet of paper. Like what is the trend of agricultural contribution for over five years? What is the contribution of industrial sector? What is the contribution of tertiary sector? So that it will be easy for you while going for exam to revise it very quickly, right? So first important one is structural composition of Telangana economy in terms of GVA and trends in growth rates of Telangana economy in last 5 years. This is especially growth rate of overall economy, not the constituent parts. I mean to say, there is very less probability that they might be asking question on agriculture growth rate since the last 5 years. There is a probability that they might ask the share of the agriculture to the total GVA, but there is very less probability that they are going to ask the specific growth rates of specific sectors. But however, high probability is that the growth rates, the overall growth rates of Telangana economy, what is the trend in last 5 years, right? And then trends in per capita income of Telangana state in past 5 years. So what is the trend in terms of the per capita income of Telangana state? Whether it is increasing, whether it is decreasing, right? Whether it is volatile in nature, and what is the position of the per capita income of Telangana when compared to the all India level, right? So in a comparative perspective, so these are the type of trends that you need to see as far as per capita income and sectoral contribution and growth rates are concerned. Next one is importance of tertiary sector to the Telangana economy. There is a high probability that they might be asking a question on the tertiary sector. As you see that while going forward, the sectoral contribution of tertiary sector to the total Telangana economy is very high, nearly 60%, and it is consistently performing very well, consistently giving around 60% of the total Telangana's GSTP. So there is a probability that there might be a question on the importance of tertiary sector to the Telangana economy. So these are the probable areas that we may expect a question, right? Now we will see first one, structure and growth of Telangana economy. As part of this structure and growth of Telangana economy, first we will see GSTP growth of Telangana over time, how GSTP of the Telangana performed over time, and what is the sectoral contribution of different sectors to total GSTP. So what is the sectoral contribution of different sectors to the total GSTP, and then comparison of GSTP of Telangana with the GDP of India, right? How GSTP of Telangana has grown when compared to the GDP of India, right? And what is the, contribution of GSTP of Telangana to the overall GDP of India, whether it is increasing or decreasing, right? If it is increasing, how much it is increasing, right? Then trends in the growth of per capita income. What is the, as I already told you, whether it is increasing, decreasing, in comparison with all India, what is the position of per capita income of Telangana, right? So broadly, we will see these issues as far as this topic is concerned, and the topics or the areas were discussed based on the probability of the questions being asked in exam, right? Because it is not possible to read, or and it is a waste of time to read each and every aspect of what you can say the economic constituents in group 1. The main point is that you need to identify what are the areas that you need to study. So it is important to find out what to study, and it is also important to find out what not to study, right? So on the perspective, these are the issues that we need to study as far as this topic is concerned, right? And one more disclaimer here is that, yeah, see, you need to use only one source as far as this particular topic is concerned. In fact, for other topics also, it is good that if you keep very less resources and try to consolidate information from that and try to make notes, very short notes, and try to revise them and write answers based on them multiple times. However, particularly for this topic, you need to rely only on one source and no need to verify multiple sources and get clogged up. I'll tell you why. Because as this topic requires you to remember large amounts of data, that is, you need to have a grip on the 5 years facts of 5 to 6 years. As you need to write about the trends, you need to have an idea about how economy has been performed since the 5 years. What is the share of the agriculture since 5 years? What is the share of industry since 5 years? Whether it is increasing or decreasing, right? Same thing for per capita income, whether what is the performance since 5 years. You need to provide a lot of facts. So in that case, the common mistakes done by the aspirants is that they will refer 2 or 3 sources, like they will refer socio-economic outlook, they will refer abstract, government of Telangana's abstract, they will refer another book, then they will get confused. So particularly for this topic, I suggest you, sincerely suggest you, please refer to only one source, and advisably, or you can say preferably, Telangana's socio-economic outlook of 2022 will be the best source as far as this topic is concerned, right? And they have beautifully given the trend, and they have given in a tabular format. So you just take out the information whichever required and consolidate it one place and revise it multiple times. Then only you will be able to remember this data. So this is the note or disclaimer that I want to tell the aspirants, that don't refer many books and get clogged up, particularly for this topic. And socio-economic outlook of Telangana government is enough, and it is a very good source, right? Yeah. Now we will see the first topic. What is the overall growth trend of Telangana economy? How overall growth of Telangana economy has performed since the formation of the state, right? Now we will see first the growth rates, right? Growth rate of gross domestic product at constant 2012-11-12 prices for Telangana and India, that is from 2014-15 to 2021-22, right? If you observe, yeah, if you observe the growth rates closely, this line, blue line, shows the growth rate of Telangana economy, and this is the growth rate of Indian economy. So if you observe closely from the year 2014-15, that is the formation of Telangana state, to 2021-22 advanced estimates, the growth rate of Telangana, except the formation year, the growth rate of Telangana is more than the growth rate of the Indian economy. This is the inference, and particularly these type of questions, drawing inferences, giving facts is okay, but from the facts you need to draw inferences, then only your answer will complete. Maybe tomorrow there will be a question that give an account of the growth rate of Telangana economy since its formation in comparison with the all India growth rate, right? So in that case, what you need to do, you need to provide these facts that yes, the growth rate of Telangana economy has been more after the formation of Telangana state when compared to the Indian state. And you need to provide some of the facts like around 2015-16, growth rate is 11.6 and Telangana's growth rate, economic growth rate is 11.6 and all India growth rate is 8. And even during the pandemic years also, the Telangana growth rate is more when compared to the Indian growth rate. These are the types of inferences that you need to draw after giving facts. And even if you observe, the Telangana economy even clocked the double-digit growth rate in 2 or 3 years, nearly 2 or 3 years. However, Indian economy has not clocked or not achieved a double-digit growth. So, if you compare with the growth rate of Telangana economy with that of the Indian economy, you can observe that the Telangana economy's growth rate is very robust when compared to the total Indian economic growth rate. And it has clocked in 2015-16 11.6%, then 16-17 9.3%, then 17-18 9.7%. Though it is volatile at up to some point of time, and after and particularly during the pandemic years because of the effect of COVID-19, the recovery has been robust in Telangana when compared to the all India growth rate. So this is the trend of the Telangana economy's growth rate during the last 5, 6 or 7 years, right? After the formation of Telangana state. Now, briefly, we will see what is the contribution of Telangana's GSDP to the total GDP at current prices, that is 2014-15 current prices during the period of 14-15 to 21-22. And if you observe here, it is having a very positive connotation. Why? Because at the formation of the Telangana state, the Telangana's contribution to total national GDP is around 4.1%. So Telangana is contributing 4.1% of the national GDP. Now, if you observe the improvement, every year there is an improvement of 0.1 or 0.2%, 0.1 or 0.2%. See, at the time of the formation, it is 4.1%. Now, during 2021-22, it has reached to 4.9%. So, what is the inference that you can draw here? The inference that you are going to draw here is that, yes, the contribution of Telangana's economy to the national GDP is around 4.1%, and it has been continuously increased since then, and it has reached up to the level of 4.9%. That is, within 6 or 7 years, it has increased up to 0.8% of the national GDP in the national GDP, right? So this is the positive contribution as far as Telangana's GSDP contribution to India's total GDP. This is also one of the aspects that you need to have an idea. Why? Because there might be a question that apart from or delineate the growth rates of Telangana economy as well as and also the contribution of Telangana's GSDP to the total GDP in the last 5 or 6 years. Right? These are the kind of questions that you need to expect. You need to get into your thinking. Then you need to prepare your notes. Right? Now we will see another aspect. Yeah. See here the inferences that you need to draw from the above two tables. So what is the conclusions you can draw from the above facts? So it is important that you give your facts, then draw inferences, right? So post bifurcation, that is formation of Telangana state, right? Annual average growth rate of Telangana state hovered mostly around 9 to 11%. As we seen above, annual average growth rate of Telangana state is hovering around 9 to 11%, right? Except for COVID-19 pandemic years, where it even gone down to negative territory, right? And one more thing you can observe after the formation of Telangana state is that the annual average growth rate of Telangana state's economy is more than the annual average growth rate of India, except year 2014-15. Right now, share of the Telangana state in India's total GDP increased gradually. It has increased gradually. Between 2014-15 and 2021-22, the state's contribution to India's national GDP, nominal GDP, increased from 4.1% to 4.9%. Right? It is a good positive contribution. In 2020-21, the state became the sixth highest contributor to the national nominal GDP amongst the 14 general category states. Right? As Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation has created 14 general category states for comparative perspective. Among those 14 general category states, in 2021, Telangana state became the sixth highest contributor to the national nominal GDP. It shows the importance of Telangana to the overall Indian GDP, and it has been increasing. Right? So these are the type of inferences that you can draw from the data of growth rates, last 5 or 6 years growth rates, but also Telangana's contribution to the national GDP. Okay. Now we will see what is the sectoral trends in GSDP. Now, based on our discussion, I am providing one practice question. Try to answer this question. As I already told you above, that you need to you can change the Andhra Pradesh economy to Telangana economy. Same thing I am providing here. Critically appraise the structural composition of Telangana's economy in terms of gross value added at constant basic prices 11-12 base, 2011-12 base, from 2014-15 to 2021-22. Right? So you need to write the performance of sectoral contribution of different sectors to the Telangana economy for the period 14-15 to 21-22 at constant basic prices. Try to answer this question. Now we will see per capita income. As far as per capita income is concerned, first we will see the definition aspect. Why? Because if there is a question on per capita income, first try to write the definition. It will give an valuation. It will give a valuation to our answer. Then we will see what is the trend since bifurcation or since the formation of the state. What is the trend of the per capita income in Telangana state? Then we will compare it with the Indian per capita income. Then we will draw some conclusions. Right?